Welcome to another episode of the Planet Coaster series, and we are on track on trying to complete all of the objectives by episode 15, though my goal would be to probably finish off the objectives by like next episode, and then have one episode of messing around outside of the career in a way that we can look at some of the stuff that we're not allowed to because it's locked in the career, so we'll see how that goes. I do think I'll end up having to spend some time, a good amount of time probably, working on building up the park outside of videos, because again, I want to finish the objectives next episode, and the value of the park seems to be kind of hard to bring up. Like, as you can see, I'm building a whole new build, and it's got new shops and stuff in it, and all of that kind of stuff. And I really don't think that the park value ended up going much. You know, I don't think that sentence was in the right order, but hopefully all the proper words were there. But, yeah, it's just not going up as quickly as I would hope, so I think I'm gonna end up spending a lot of time adding decor and buildings and stuff outside of this, and then next episode I will show off what I've accomplished. But for this episode itself, we're going to be making this building right here, which holds three things. It holds a food stall, a bathroom, and the staff room. I think it looks pretty cool. I really like that you end up walking underneath the building. I really enjoy that look of paths that go under an arch of a build. So I'm happy I was able to fit one in. Doing these columns on the corners and stuff, quite a pain. I'm going to dedicate a lot of time to that. I will be coming back to do more later once I build the second story and everything. So that's that. I'm also going to be adding some kind of trim around the this here bit around the floor of the second story, I guess, just to add some cool texture to what is already a different color. Yes, unfortunately, and I'm going to realize this soon, I started adding these things outside of the building, which sucks because then I can't just easily copy and drag and do all of the stuff that I normally would. Excuse me. Well, they've added the ability to select multiple things and to move them and everything, you still need to use a specific tool. It's not like you can click and then, you know, control click or shift click and get other things. You have to use the specific tool first, and then you can copy and paste multiple things. I'm glad it's an option, but it's not as easy as I would have liked. But I do eventually get it all sorted out and transferred and everything at the same height. If it would have all snapped to the flooring, my life would have been 10 times easier, but that was not the case. Maybe that was because I accidentally... Excuse me, goodness. Maybe because I didn't get it onto the build. I don't know why it didn't go onto the build right away. Most times when you take like a decoration or anything and you place it against a build, it'll be like, do you want me to add it to this build? And then you can say yes, and then it automatically attaches them. But that was not the case for some reason, and I wish I had noticed beforehand. But yeah. Yeah, I'm also going to be adding a third layer of the columns so that they go into the ground. And then I do think I'll go back and add some to that other column on the other side of the path. Over there where the bathroom is. Like, I hope. Otherwise I'm going to have to go and do that the next time I start up the game, because it would look quite silly without it, I think. But it is nice using these columns to add a bit of texture and everything without a whole lot of effort. Yay. Go me, I did it. And as simply as I could have, I think. The other problem is I think this is all at a weird angle, and so even if it had snapped and everything, it might have not worked as nicely as I had hoped. So, oh well, it got done eventually. I did change the color of the stucco wall. It's kind of yellowy by default, and I made this one a little more brown tan looking, just so that there's a bit of variety in the buildings. I think it looks nice. The next build I do will also have this color on it. Don't know what it'll be. I do need to get a drink thing somewhere on this side of the island. So that's, I'm gonna have to see where I can squeeze that in because I'll need it somewhere. And then what are we going to be doing next? Probably the roof. Yes. So we're going to be, as you can see, there's quite a color difference. Like from a distance, you can see that they're kind of varied, but you don't realize just how different they are until you put them next to each other, like I did there on accident. But I put up these fence wall surrounding bits, and then I realized that I wasn't going to be able to put the ceilings on easily, so I had to remove most of them and try again. I'm going to be also adding more of the cool design along the floor separations. I considered doing it that brown that it did by default, because if you change the color before you place the item, every item after that will have that color. So it was the same color as the walls, and it kind of looked cool, but I decided to go ahead and stick with the theme of having the white borders everywhere. And then I really like this like 3D window thing. I don't know, there's one on the first build that we placed, and I think it adds something really cool. So I added it to this tower just to make it a little more space up in that top floor for whatever would be in these buildings. I don't know. I like the look of them on the outside. Do they make sense on the inside? Probably they wouldn't. Like, I feel like that tower would be nothing but stairs on the bottom floor, so maybe it's all storage or something. Maybe it is a bathroom. Like, you have to, old days where you had to go outside and go to the bathroom. I don't know why I was spinning that window. I almost considered switching it so that some of them were flipped upside down, because it actually didn't look all that bad. Just made it so that the design was on the bottom, but I decided against it eventually. Ooh, these are something I didn't notice were in the new update, which are amazing. It's some flowery vines, and they look amazing in this side of the park. I'm so excited that I found those, because I was just going to put some normal ivy on some of the more blank walls, just so I didn't have to try to put more windows there. I did think that door that you grabbed by default was very red compared to everything, so I went ahead and changed its color. But yes, I'm so excited about those vines, especially here in a moment when I place it right there. Like, how lovely does that look with the vines just kind of growing underneath? It's amazing. You could also have changed the colors of the flowers, but I went ahead and stuck with the default because I thought it actually looked pretty nice. Here I'm creating a new roster so that we can start assigning vendors and that to the area, mostly because having a roster attached to the staff room changes how it works. So yeah, I went ahead and got that set up, and then I put in 2 new cleaners assigned specifically to this area, and I even changed their outfit color to match the roster, so that I can kind of keep an eye on where they go. Like, do they kind of stay in the roster, maybe go out of it a little bit, or do they just go wherever in the park and there's no reason to assign them somewhere? The only thing that assigning a roster might affect is if they clean the bathrooms in that area, but I don't know. We will have to see. I also put in a new entertainer. It was that, I think her name's like Amelia or something like that. But the pilot, I put her over here and assigned her to the area. Hopefully she sticks around, and that will be all of the entertainers that I put into the park, I think. There's technically 4 areas. One is the entrance, but I don't think anything needs to be over there at this point. Here I'm adding some more bamboo to the area. Kind of like the idea of separating it a little bit. That said, it's all going to change because I am, towards the very, very end, going to be moving that carousel back a bit, and to get it to fit, I had to remove that bamboo and stuff. So, adding another animatron, which looks very nice. It was kind of a struggle to decide whether or not I was okay with his base thing showing on the top, but in reality, no one should be high enough to see that, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem. Excuse me, I had to go answer the door, so I have no idea what I was talking about. So, new topic. Subtle change, I know. Perfect transition. Kind of like the end of the last one, where I was just like, talk, because it ended. I really need to pay more attention to where it is on the timeline and how close I am to the end, so that I don't have to just be startled by the ending. I try not to stop recording this bit because getting everything lined up again is a nightmare. So, like, I considered going back and like re-recording and having a better outro, but I didn't want to have to fuss with the timing of it all. So, you guys got the smoothest transition ever. So, real quick, towards the end of this bit, I am trying to decorate around Mango's tea party a bit more. I started adding these nice trees because, again, I kind of want to make a really stark difference between the two halves of the island. I'm kind of enjoying playing with that idea of it just being so different depending on whether you're in the pirate area or not. So we're going to be adding these nice trees kind of around all over. Later I'll be adding them around the buildings, as you can see here in a second. And I was trying to put them around what are the entrances, like, of the inside of the ride, just so that I made sure that they were nice and evenly spaced out. But yeah, I think having little details like this, separating them, makes an overall nice effect. And then, yeah, I had that one placed like halfway in the building. I don't know what I was doing. Adding more garbage bins and benches around the park, just because I often forget about that for extended periods of time, and then I have to go spam them everywhere and then forget about them for another extended period. So also adding some cool flowers in between the trees. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be adding around the area. Is that tree like sideways? I'll have to check that when I get back into the game. But yeah, adding some cool flowers into this area, checking out what stuff is new and all of that. But as I was saying before, I forgot. I don't know what to do between the clumps of the trees and the flowers. Some kind of arch would be cool, but I don't know how much of a pain it will be to get the arches to match the curve of the ride. We'll have to see. I'll probably have to freehand it, but it'll do. I accept my fate. I did look on the workshop, because you can upload like blueprints or download them, and I've considered downloading some to sprinkle around the park just to help improve the value without too much effort. So like putting this big old fountain here, you know, minimal effort, but it's a cool effect. So looking for more of those kinds of things to download, but didn't find a whole lot. Maybe I'll find some more. I'll make sure to shout out who it's from if I do place any of those from people that I find on the workshop. But yeah, I will be spending quite a bit of time working on this weekend, I think. Just so, or I guess by the time this comes out last weekend. Time is weird when it comes to recording stuff. Ooh, so I really liked this like setup inside the end of a ship. I think it looks really cool. And so I just decided to put it there for a second, but then I had another ship butt on the end there, or up to the side, so I just deleted the first one and add this, so that I got to keep that kind of shape, but I got to add a lot more to it. So that was super exciting. And then I found this really cool thing that must have come with the update, where it displays like all of the new flowers, and it has this new plant pot shape thing. And I really wanted to put that by the carousel because I thought that would make it look so fancy. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put it here and then see if I can make the queue work with it. I do think that I realized that there is a way to attach paths to a grid. So I've considered changing this guy to be on the grid of the house, but there's like a huge queue and you lose a lot of money when you do that. So I think I just decided to put flowers there and call it a day. But going forward, I do hope to remember that I can use the grid. So yeah, into the live mode stuff now. Alright. I do like the look of these, and I think arches will really add to the cool fanciness of it. Kind of the start of separating the building and everything away from the wild of the island, you know? I think it'll look very nice. And then, what else have I done? I don't know if I've done much after. Yeah, let's see if we can do a path on a grid real quick. Place entrance, place here. Alright, place exit, and we'll stick it over here. Place exit, there we go. Let's connect the path now. Select grid. Let's do this guy. So we could do... yeah. So then we'd probably delete the end one and the first one so that it can connect. And go with Q, path of that guy. So we could stick it on the end here. Or we can wrap around the corner. Wonder if it's 4 meters. Goes like so, and then connect it for a second. Like that. I wonder if it would have looked better if we'd stayed on the grid. This one... yeah, let's try it on the grid again. Select grid, dash guy. Do that and see if it works. Because sometimes it's really picky if it's too short, you know? Like so. So we could do it over there. Wait. Yes, that looks nice. That's exciting. And then it does snap. It looks so weird, but it's fine. We don't have a priority queue on this one, but in reality, pretty much no one ever rides this ride, so I'm not concerned. This I was trying to see if I could get it to look nicer, because we're not really used to having those really sharp edges on a queue, but I think I'll just leave it as is and then decorate it conducive to that, you know? And then let's do a normal path, the sandstone grid, this guy, stick maybe like so, and then we can go off the grid for the ending. Really? Really? What is this? This is ridiculous. Also, police sirens? Really? Why? We never hear police sirens here. I had it for a second there. Okay, I'll have to come back to that. But I am glad that we are able to do this, and I wish I had realized it for this one. Would have looked nicer, but for any rides that we managed to put over here, I'll keep that in mind for sure. Do we have any other rides that would be conducive to this side of the park? We always do the bump and derby. Again, another one of those rides that actually doesn't do you much good. I could also look into my testings and see what would be the best for what could earn us the most money. It's not this one, I know that. It's usually the higher, like, scare rides like these that end up making the most money. So I'll have to look into that and see if we can set something here at the very end of the park. And that'll probably be it for rides that I could squeeze into this half. It's probably all the rides that I'll end up putting in. Just because this is coming to an end soon, which is sad. It is a fun series, but it's not getting the views it should. I should replace it with something that people like more. So, yeah. Speaking of, I'm not really sure what I'm going to replace this with. I have a game I'm leaning towards, but it is one of those really old games. It's not really, really old, but it's an older game that pretty much no one will be looking for, but it's one of my favorites. So I guess I could give it a try, and if it doesn't work out, then I'll just end the series like I have in the past. So we'll see how it goes. I'm excited. But yes, we have the snoopers. Okay, we should look for those two cleaners that are all red and see if we can see if they're in the area I expect them to be in, or if they're venturing. Look at this one. He is leaving his area. Never mind, he's turning around. What about the other one? Is he in the area, or is he about? What's her name? Renee. So it's supposed to be Amelia Lockhart, I think, but not. Hi there. Looks pretty cool. I know she doesn't match the area, but it's the best I could do. Where is that other cleaner? Park management, staff, vet cleaner. And then you and you. Alright, so they're kind of in the right area. Is the outside pirates in the right area? That's exciting. And that one. Okay, so they're pretty close to doing the right areas. So I guess I could stop worrying about that. This is a pretty cool ride. I wish there was more water. I wish that we had been able to do terrain editing throughout this experiment, I guess, but not an option. But next episode, I do hope, not episode, but like the last one, that we can quickly look into hotels and that we can look into the vending machines and that kind of stuff. That would have been fun to add to the Spark, but it didn't want to allow it. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and until next time, I hope you have a wonderful day.